Hi, my name is Mark Martin. It's a pleasure to be with you today to talk information system, software architecture, software design and stuff. Today I come up with a subject about an approach into software architecture called thin client approach. Let's say there are two approaches, thin client approach and thick client approach, but I'm gonna talk most specifically on thin client approach today. And one of the things you need to know is that those two approaches are similar in IT and they have the common objective of computing power. The client in software architecture is to keep a significant portion of computing to the client side. And thin client means that most of computing power is located on a server somewhere else. The thick client fits for individual purpose, and in that case, data is stored on the user side, that is to say, on the user's device. While in the case of business with a network system comprising multiple offices, computers, and users, the software architecture might be set up to operate thin client. Thin client, where data is stored on servers. Again, both have a common objective and they were designed to enable client software interface. In other words, we understand that in the thick approach, the server could be supported within the client's device itself and on servers as well, but most of the data relies on the client side. And with the thin one, the server is situated in a central somewhere else. Then this is work based on three options, such within a shared terminal service, desktop virtualization, or within a browser based. They are different, but they are one goal in reality, which is to keep the client hardware and software as lightweight as possible. Supposing that our company will be operated using the thin client software design, we need to know that we have two options to run it. One may be relied on the server side and the other one on the client side. Client side and server side are web development terms that describe where application code runs. So client-side programming refers to everything in a web application that is presented or the client receives on their on-screen device. It can be a text, an image, for example, but the data, the information is stored on a server perhaps miles away from the user. In fact, it is proved that many contemporary developers are including client-side processes in their application architecture that allows them to run client-side in a modern web application responding instantly to the user's command. Client-side is the location that the processes run, and they are almost always written in JavaScript. Nevertheless, the server side is where data is processed. It is the location that's hosting the processes, and it is not visible to the client user. With this option, each comment from the user needs to travel all the way along to the server, which processes the comment data from the database and return the HTML to the end user with the help of API. HTML means hypertext markup language, and API means application programming interface. And this is introduced a great deal of what IT developers call latency. Latency in network is the amount of time it takes for a data packet to go from one place to another one. Now we have an idea of how the thin client works. The choice afterwards then depend on what we want to implement through the business, the amount of data we are expecting, the level of security threat we have to be anticipated. All of that will need to include into an appropriate design of loading network within our company. Good to know that the main advantage of thin client technology is lower support cost. There is no need to individual configure each user's machine. However, its downside technology is that the amount of the data flowing from the server to the client can be substantial, especially when many computers start up at the same time every day. That led me to borrow a recommendation from a blog called Cisco Certified Expert, stipulate that networks that include thin clients should be carefully designed with sufficient capacity. That is to say, we'll need to know how our network will be operated and an appropriate topology. That is to say, knowing the region we are established. Thank you. That's all for today.